In the next 3 short tutorials, I'm going to introduce you to the basics of using the Prezi Screencast application. In this section, it will be assumed that you know how to log into your Prezi account. You'll learn how to set up a design template, use text, and navigate around the screen. Once you're logged into your online Prezi account and see this opening page, click on the New Prezi icon. This opens up your first composition screen, where you can choose from a variety of presentation templates. I'm going to quickly review these using the center scroll bar. These templates provide easy-to-use canvases, complete with pre-designed typefaces, color schemes, and navigation paths for quickly creating your screencast. At the very bottom is a blank template, which I'll use to demonstrate some basic Prezi features. Select the blank template with your mouse and then click on the Use Template icon in the lower right section of the window. For now, I don't want to use the large blue circle frame. I'll delete it by left-clicking anywhere on the blue circle outline and then choosing the Delete icon at the very top of the blue bounding box. We can now start from scratch. Before we begin building our first Prezi, let's take a tour of some of the basic navigational features that we'll be making use of later. First of all, there are 2 primary modes in Prezi. This first screen shows the Edit mode, where Prezis are built. Up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen is the Present button icon that opens up the Presentation mode for viewing a project as it will be displayed. You can move to the Edit mode either by clicking on this Edit Full Screen link or by hitting your Escape key. While creating a Prezi, you will often alternate between these 2 modes. Along the top menu bar are located 3 navigation icons that each contain multiple tools for creating your presentation. The Frames and Arrows section contains frame building icons, as well as arrow, line, and highlighter tools. The Insert section, which connects you to a variety of media types, and again we will be taking a closer look at those later. A Theme section where you can on the fly adjust the color scheme and typeface for the presentation that you're creating, or create customized themes for your presentation. A Help menu with a widget for adjusting screen resolution, either 4:3 or 16:9. A Share menu which opens up very powerful tools for sharing and collaborating with others. And finally, an Exit icon. Lower down on the screen to your left is the important pencil icon button that opens and closes your path creation mode. There will be more on these tools later. Let's create our first Prezi screencast. To begin, click in the middle top half of the screen. A text widget appears. Select the title icon in the top widget bar and then type in Part 1 in the text box at the blinking cursor. Notice that when I click and drag on the small circle in the bottom right side of the widget, the text can be scaled from very large to very small with no loss of sharpness. This is one of the most powerful features of Prezi, the ability to zoom in and out of screens without losing text legibility. You can also move the text widget around the screen by clicking and dragging the bar at the top of the widget. It's worth noting here that everything in a Prezi screencast is organized on one very large surface called a canvas. On this canvas you can organize and review information in a wide variety of ways. You're also able to zoom and pan on the surface with lots of freedom of movement. So to begin, adjust the size and the position of your first title so that it sits comfortably in the middle section in the top part of the screen. You can also use the light gray grid in the background to align your text and position it. Now, click your mouse in the middle left section of the screen and type section A in the blinking cursor. Make sure that the subtitle icon is selected at the very top. So I type in section A, and this text should be blue. You can also scale using the widget control that I showed you in the initial title. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into position. Click outside of the widget to close it. Now, click in the middle of the section A text, and you'll see a bounding box plus some tool icons. You can either use the bounding box to scale the text, or click the plus and minus signs in the middle of the text bounding box. You can then click on the hand icon to move the object around in any direction. Notice also that when your mouse moves over any one of the corner points in the bounding box, a circle connected by a line appears. This lets you rotate the text into any position, so you have control over where the text is positioned in a 360-degree circle. In order to duplicate the section A text object, make sure that it's selected as we see here. Then use the keyboard shortcut command to duplicate by holding down the Control key or Apple key if you're on the Mac, and the D key. Notice that one copy has been created. If I hold the Control key and D key a second time, a second instance of the text shows up on the screen. You can continue to create new instances of this text by repeating the Control or Apple D command. So I currently have 3 copies of the section text, and will delete the middle one by clicking on the middle and selecting the delete icon just above the blue bounding box. I can now edit one of the new copies that I haven't deleted. I click and drag, as we've seen before, by clicking on the hand icon. Notice that when I approach the first section A title, a dotted line appears. This lets me know I'm in alignment with it, and I can actually feel the text pause when I hit that dotted line, which lets me know that I've snapped to a horizontal alignment with section A text. Also, I can use my arrow keys. I'm pushing my right arrow key and my left arrow key to move my text in any direction. So that's another handy way of moving text around. So the new copy is in position, and to edit the text I select Edit Text up in the upper left part of the bounding box, and I backspace over the A and then replace it with B, because this is a title for section B. Now that we have something to look at, let's take a look at some basic controls. First of all, click anywhere outside of the text areas and notice how you can move your screen in any direction, as I've shown before. You can also zoom in and out using the scroll wheel if you have one on your mouse. And notice the small navigation panel that appears to the right. The top icon locks the screens and prevents unintentional screen movement, so you can click that on and off. The plus and minus magnifying glass icons will make the screen larger or smaller, or zoom in and zoom out, and so that you can position your information however you want it in the Z-axis as you move in and out of the screen. So to save this Prezi screen and to complete this first tutorial, click on the exit icon in the upper right hand corner of the screen. A page appears that shows your completed work. Roll your mouse over the title where it says Untitled Prezi and select the small pencil icon that appears and rename this project Part 1. And to complete the process, click on Save. To view this first project that you just created in your archive, go to the top of the screen and select the menu item that says Your Prezis. You're now back to the original screen where you've built your first Prezi, and you can see the results of the first tutorial. In Part 2, we'll take a look at frames and the presentation path.